Hi everyone, this is Marjorie. Thank you for stopping by, and we'll get into today's video. For this first DIY, now I say it's DIY number one, there's 3 variations, but it's basically the same concept, so that's why I just said DIY number one. I got these little styrofoam trees from Hobby Lobby. They were $1.25 because everything on Christmas is 50% off right now, along with those pine cones. And all I'm doing here is I am decorating this tree, and I'm going to fill it up with all these little pine cones. The good thing about the bag of pine cones is that it comes in so many sizes and variations, and I really just love how rustic that this little mini tree turns out in the end. And I hope you guys like it as well. I don't do a lot of nature or rustic type of things, but I wanted to on this one because I thought the pine cones would be really sweet on here. So I'm just keep layering them all the way up, and I'm putting a pretty good amount of hot glue on there, but I am using the low temperature because I am working with styrofoam. So I just pushed down the top of the tree because it was sticking up a little bit. And as you see me twirling it around, you see some of that white styrofoam still sticking out. So they had some of these really small pine cones, which I'm very thankful for. And I actually had just the right amount of them too. So I just take the really small pine cones and I fill in those little holes. As you can see right there, that was one of the big areas of pine cones. It was a big area of that had the white, no pine cone. So I just filled that in, and I just go all the way around, and it looks great. This ended up being a short, little fat tree, and I thought it was so cute how fat it ended up being. So then I take some of this pipberry garland from the Dollar Tree, and I thought the white would just kind of be like snow flurries or whatever. Now you definitely could get some paint and paint on the pine cones the white, but I wanted to just do a little bit different. And you'll see that one in the end. So for this one, I got that, was it a 15-foot little garland of many leaves? And I am struggling here, y'all. I could not find the beginning of that roll. They wrapped that sucker good. But when I finally found it, I just start off at the very bottom, and I just start hot gluing all of it at the bottom. And then what I'll do is I will just continue wrapping it. And every now and again, I'll have to put some hot glue on it, and I just continue to wrap. I'm trying to keep it as close together as I can, but as you can probably see, there's some little white bits showing. And then I'm at the top, and I just wrap it around and I hot glue it there. Now, if you want, maybe put a couple layers of this on. I don't know. I just did the one and made sure that they were pretty close. And as you see, there's all those little green leaves that I accidentally pulled off when I was trying to find the beginning of it. And I'll go ahead and fill in the white areas with those. And for the tree topper, I just got one of those red jingle bells, and I hot glued it to the very top of the tree. And I think it looks so super cute. Now, you could probably add any kind of little berries or whatever to give this tree a little bit more character, but I chose to take some paint, and you'll see that here in a minute. But I found this little wicker basket for $2.99 in at Hobby Lobby, and it was over like in the wedding section. And I'm just taking some old floral foam and sticking it down in there. So here you'll see where I'm about to use some white chalk paint, and I'm just gonna dab it on there kind of lightly. You can put as much or as little as you want on there. Um, but I really like how the little frosted look came out on here. Now this little sponge brush actually is going to have a dual purpose for me. And you'll see I'm done flocking the tree, so I'm just taking my wire cutters and I'm cutting the sponge end off. And I'm going to use that as a little dowel to stick into my tree. And then I'm going to stick that into the floral. Now I do put it on the other side, on one side of the little basket handle. And then I've got this Dollar Tree kind of fuzzy, oh my goodness, yarn. And I'm just taking and bunching some of it up and I'm filling the basket, kind of like it's in some snow. And then I take a couple more of those jingle bells and I glue it down onto the faux snow. And then I will take a little pine cone and do the same with it. And again, I just really like this one because it has that little natural look to it. So for this third one, this is the third and final tree. I actually got this, it's minky, whatever, I don't know. It's a really soft fabric and I really like it. I got it on sale for from Hobby Lobby. It was less than $2 and it's got a pretty good amount on it. So I could probably use this for quite a bit of crafts and stuff. So I'm sorry guys, these scissors are kind of old and I need to probably sharpen them. And here I'm just trying to figure out the best way. I'm not really good at wrapping things on a cone and making it look nice. So you guys are seeing me struggle here. And I end up cutting a little bit off and I don't know. See right there, it kind of looked really nice when I wrapped it. But for whatever reason, when I took the cone out and tried to wrap it again, I couldn't get it to go back the way it was. So now I've got this big gap and I'm like, well, maybe I can just fill it in. Well, that didn't look right. So I ended up pulling it all off and finally got it to wrap pretty well on here. And once I did that, I just hot glued everything down, cut off the excess of the fabric, and then I'll finish. Oh, I can't speak. Then I'll finish up on this little tree. I can't tell. Either this tree or the second one is my favorite of the trees. But I just take the red and white gingham ribbon from the Dollar Tree and I make just a little shoestring bow and I just add it on top of there. But I've got some excess fabric up there, so I just cut it off so I can get the bow to stick on there a little bit better. And now on to DIY number 2. I have this little grapevine wreath from Hobby Lobby at the Christmas. I actually got a few of these actually, a couple years ago, and I've kind of just been reusing it in different DIYs. And so I wanted a little wintry look on it, and I just dab in some of that chalk paint all over this. I don't do the back side. I do the inners and the outside and the top, but I don't do the back side because I'm going to glue it down to something. But I'm showing you here, I made this little bow with 1.5-inch ribbon from Hobby Lobby, and I attached it, but I just didn't like it. It just seemed like it was too big. So I take that off and I get some more of that red and white gingham ribbon and I do another shoelace tie bow, and I'll leave the tails a little bit long. And what I'll do is I'll actually kind of glue them down. And then you'll see right there. Yeah. So I'm going to be tacking those down. And then I do add a little extra something to the wreath, but I didn't show it. You'll see it at the end in the final review. Now, I love these little plaques. And sorry, yes, I was upside down. But I love the little plaques from Hobby Lobby because they're really good quality and thick and stuff. So I just glued it right on down to that. So here's my third and final project. I got these little wood home cutout from Dollar Tree, and I put that little cardboard aside because I am going to use that. But what I do is I'm going to take some of this Reddit and black buffalo check, and I'm just going to glue it down to the back side. That way you can see it in the front of the houses. And I'm going to do that to all 4 pieces. You don't have to hot glue, but you can obviously use whatever kind of adhesive you want to. Now I will take some nutmeg brown or something by Apple Barrel, and I'm going to give it 1 full coat on the front and the back. Sorry for the shaking. I really try not to, but as I'm going with these projects, like, I'm just working away and I don't realize how bad I'm shaking the camera. So I apologize. Once I got them all painted, I just take some of this fabric or puffy paint, whatever you want to call it, from the Dollar Tree, and I just do the little snow on the roof, and then I outline the letters in the white, and then I will go back down at the bottom of the little houses and add snow there as well. Now, I don't work with puffy paint very much, and I always forget that it takes so long. I mean, you pretty much gotta wait at least overnight to get it to dry and stuff, but it just depends also on how much you put on there. And I am so impatient, y'all. But here it is the next day. And you see I put little windows on the tall houses. And I'm taking these little Jenga blocks and just attaching it to the back side so it'll help them stand up. And I wish I would have did this a little bit different. So there was a little piece that you could see the cardboard, and I'm just laying all this fabric down. What I should have done is probably not have I probably should have glued all the houses down first and then added the fabric or faux snow or whatever, because it's on the fabric, it does cause it to lean a little bit. Now I did try to minimize that with different things, but the first 2 houses were the worst, but I ended up gluing a little bit of it on top of each other, and it kind of helped a little bit. So I just kind of glue them on there, and then I have this little gingerbread sticker that I put on one side of the house, and you can definitely add as many of those as you want. And then I had this little truck with a little Christmas tree that I glued onto the house on the end with the E. And I do embellish it more, and you'll see here in the final reveal. So I thank you again, guys, for stopping by, and I appreciate all the support that you provide. And I hope that you guys have a very wonderful and blessed week. Thank you.